Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your January 2019 reading. This is for Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Thank you for joining me. Before I get started, I just wanted to mention that I have my 12-month year ahead forecast for 2019. That's available on my Vimeo channel, so if you're interested, you can check out the link below in the descriptions box. Sagittarius, you've got some wonderful oracle cards here. I'm going to start with, firstly, the journey from the Oracle of Mystical Moments. Now, please forgive any interruptions. I'm on the high seas at the moment on a ship, so maybe some background noise on occasion, but not to worry. Now, we have the card of the journey for you. Now, this is a fabulous card for Sagittarius because it speaks about that love of adventure, curiosity and appreciation. And this is what Sagittarians are known for, appreciating life, being curious about life, and having that spirit of adventure. So for you, if that's been missing in your life recently, I feel like it's coming back in droves in January. You'll see this young girl here, she's riding a deer. And it's symbolic of a playful nature, curiosity. And sometimes we get so caught up in the destination we can forget to appreciate the journey. If we neglect the little things on our path, we're missing out on precious moments. So it's very much here an energy of anything that has been overlooked or anything that's been missing in terms of your curiosity for life and your love of adventure. There's a new appreciation for this. Now, as your overall energy from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, you've pulled the card of love. Now, this is a fabulous card. And love takes many forms, of course. And it's a depiction here of Aphrodite, which is the Greek goddess of love, beauty, fertility. And the energy around this is a time to powerfully give or receive love, to forgive someone, to overcome issues from the past, whether it may have been hurt or disappointment. Love invites you to leave judgment and prejudice at the door. Let her warming rays move through you, touching those around you, whether family, strangers or enemies. Don't let the moment pass if you're given the opportunity to do things differently by expressing love in some way, no matter how small. Love invites you to dissolve barriers and let in the magic. So it's all about overcoming obstacles when it comes to your life here by giving and receiving love. So let's see where this goes, Sagittarius. I've already meditated on your energy and I'm going to be using the Rider-Waite deck for you. And for the person that you're focused on, I'm going to be using the After Tarot. Now, one thing to remember is if you're a single person or if you're not particularly focused on another person, this may resonate both ways as you. So keep that in mind. And it can also resonate the opposite way around. So let's get one more shuffle in here for you, Sagittarius. I'm on a uneven surface, so bear with me. And we'll focus in firstly on what you have brought to this situation in the past. So let's see. What has Sagittarius brought to this situation in the past? We have the Nine of Wands in reverse. Okay. So with this one, there may have been a time in the past where I get some exhaustion, tiredness, losing that Sagittarian spirit of bravery or courage to overcome an obstacle. So around you, I get the sense there, and it's very uncharacteristic of a Sagittarian, but I think it's mainly just out of sheer exhaustion, a feeling here, perhaps of giving up on a situation or thinking about it. Now, when it comes to the other person's energy, let's focus in on them. And let's start with what they've brought to this situation in the past. What has this other person brought to this in the past? The Knight of Swords. Okay. So with this one, it is about a sense of urgency, a message of some kind, taking direct action. And with that kind of knight, it certainly is someone who believes that they are doing the right thing. So it seems to be some kind, I'm picking up a message more than anything really here, of someone coming into you with some important words. I feel it is about more about the spoken word rather than any kind of any other kind of action. Now, when it comes to where you currently stand, let's take a look. Where does Sagittarius currently stand? We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so with this one, Sag, it's really more about you having a time of reassessment. For you, I get in the past that there has already been a lot of effort put in. And you may have at some point thought about surrendering to it, giving up, but I feel like now there is you thinking about whether or not this is something that you need to reassess, that this kind of giving up on someone or something. It's after receiving some kind of message of some kind here. That's what I'm picking up. You're wondering whether or not this is something that is worth reassessing and maybe putting more effort into. Will it pay off? Now, the other person, where they currently stand. Where does this other person currently stand? Seven of Wands. Okay, so there, when it comes to this message that's coming in, they believe that they're right, and they also feel like they are willing to stand up for what they feel is right as well. There's a energy of someone who believes in themselves and not willing to lose, basically. Very much an energy here of someone who is showing that fighting spirit. Both of these cards, I mean, when you look at them there, it's really a card of someone who's has that courage, that warrior-like courage, which is good. I like the energy around this other person. And this is probably what you are reassessing. Okay, let's take a look and see where you hope to stand with this in the future. Where does Sagittarius hope to stand with this in the future? We have the Death card in reverse. Okay, so I do feel like you're wanting to hold on to whatever this is. If I feel it is a relationship here, because we are talking about love. So for you, it's not wanting to end the situation, to keep things really. I pick it up more as an energy here of. It's not really an unwillingness to change. It's more about an unwillingness to end whatever this relationship is. Now, the other person, where they hope to stand with this in the future. Where does this other person hope to stand with this situation in the future? Okay, Four of Pentacles. So for them, it's also an energy of maintaining this relationship. So a good energy. There is, from both of you, I feel, a motivation here to keep things going in the right direction. I don't think it's keep maintaining the status quo or anything like that, because I feel that in the past there has been some kind of action taken to make you reassess this whole situation. And So I feel like you want to maintain this action. You want this movement to keep moving in the right direction. You don't want things as they were, but you want things to maintain an upward movement is what I'm getting. Now when it comes to how you're viewing this person, Sagittarius, let's take a look. How is Sagittarius viewing this person? How is Sagittarius viewing this person? How is Sagittarius viewing this person? Okay, we've got the World card, and we also have another card which I will clarify in part 2, the extended version. The World. You know, I like this card because it does speak about, well, you know, when you think of the journey, it does speak about travel. It's also a card which speaks of a successful completion of a cycle and the beginnings of a new cycle. So it seems to me very much an energy here of forgiveness, because we did speak about that earlier. Whatever this relationship is, it's not holding on to whatever the energy was here that caused you to perhaps think of letting this go. It's releasing all of that kind of negative thoughts about how things were in the past with this person, and moving forward with that clean slate, without prejudice, without, I want to say, without holding on to any issues from the past where there may have been hurt or disappointment. It's instead thinking things are getting better, really, is how I'm picking that up. Now the other person and how they're viewing you, Sagittarius. So let's take a look. How is the other person viewing Sagittarius? Okay, the Three of Cups. Very nice. So having a reason to celebrate, joyous occasions, having fun. You know, I feel like there is a change of attitude here which is causing you to reassess this whole situation. And I get an energy here of joy, joyful fulfillment, and also having a reason to have fun, really, and enjoying life. Now when it comes to your doubts and fears for Sagittarius, please. Doubts and fears for Sagittarius. Doubts and fears. Okay, we'll take this card here and we'll leave this for part 2 to clarify. Six of Swords. Okay. Well, are you doubting that this can move to a good place? Again, I get a lot of cards of travel here. So, you know, the thing with doubts and fears is that it doesn't have to be something that comes true. It's more about the fears, the inner narrative that can hold us back, prevent us from taking action. So with this, it's important to be aware of this kind of energy, so that you can really take action to avoid letting anything in the doubts and fears section prevent you from achieving your goals. So for you, there seems to be an opportunity here to move to better times. For some of you, it does actually involve physical travel here with the World card and the Six of Swords. And it's recognizing the opportunity without putting those negative thoughts in our head of, oh, I can't do that. Oh, it's really any kind of energy like that. The excuses that you tell yourself of why things won't work out. Now, the doubts and fears for the other person, let's take a look. Doubts and fears for the person that Sagittarius is focused on. Okay, Eight of Swords in reverse. So this person also may have some niggling doubts here about releasing themselves or getting their freedom, their liberation from, again, I get more of a thought process with the swords energy. Swords represent our thoughts, a lot of our inner narrative. So I feel with this, it's releasing themselves from any kind of inner restriction, mental restriction that they may have felt trapped by. It'll be different for everyone, of course, but I feel the majority, it is about that negative inner narrative of fear and doubt. I mean, literally, that's what this card is representative of. Those things that mentally restrict us from taking action. Now, when it comes to your challenge, what is the challenge for Sagittarius? We have the King of Wands. Now, as your energy here, you could be male or female, but the energy of the King of Wands is being assertive, taking action, taking a bold, courageous step. So for you, it's about getting that Sagittarian spirit back. You know, when I look at the journey up here and I look at a love of adventure and I see the King of Wands, it's definitely a feeling here. You know, the King of Wands is a difficult one because as a fire sign energy, kings like to take action, but they're also reached a certain level in life, a maturity, a sense of responsibility, that they may not be able to take the kind of freedom or adventure that they would like. But for you, I think the challenge here is to recognize that you may not be as restricted as you believe. So it's an encouragement, I think, as a challenge. It's an encouragement to live up to your potential as that King of Wands. Not to limit yourself. Not to doubt your abilities as well. I see that. Let's take a look at the challenge for the other person. What is the challenge for the person that Sagittarius is dealing with? Okay. Well, I'm going to leave these two here as the clarifiers. And we have the Hierophant. Okay. So with this one, it's kind of an energy here of playing by the rules, tradition, following tradition. So that's the challenge. You know, this person may, for some of you, be unconventional, perhaps in some ways. And of course the clarifiers will tell us more here. It could also be a challenge related to an actual place or a position, one where you have to follow rules and traditions as well. You know, I often see the Hierophant as a spiritual teacher or as a card of higher learning as well. So we'll see where this goes, but the thing that I'm picking up mostly here is the need, as a challenge, is the need to follow some kind of tradition here, or follow a particular way of living, a belief system. Maybe that thinking outside of the box here may be the challenge. So we'll see where that goes. And that's an interesting one for part 2. Now, when it comes to your potential outcome here, Sagittarius, we'll take a sneak peek before we go to the extended version. The extended version will be on my Vimeo channel. The link is below in the descriptions box. So if this is resonating, I hope that you join me there. It'll be about another 30 to 40 minute reading. We'll go into a lot of depth here when it comes to this reading. We'll go into further depth and we'll be pulling out a lot more cards. Now let's have a look. We have Justice in reverse. Let's take a look. What is the potential outcome for Sagittarius? Okay, we have the High Priestess. And we'll take one more. What is the outcome here? Oh, we've got 2. So we'll pull out, we'll leave one there and we'll take this Star card. Okay, great. So the energy around this is that where there may have been some kind of feeling around you of injustice, or feeling that you've been poorly treated, or there's some kind of inequality in this relationship, there seems to be this inner knowing around you here of believing that things are going to get better, that things are going to improve. It's having a lot of faith and optimism in the future healing as well. And you know, when I see the High Priestess there, Sagittarius, it's more than inner knowing. It's inner knowing born of wisdom, born through experience. So it's about you learning and really processing decisions that have been made in the past, things that have happened to you in the past, and it's this kind of processing that brings about this inner knowing within you that things can get better in this particular situation. So it may be that for you, there's a real. Other people may have their concerns, or they may be expressing things to you. But I think the main thing that you're listening to is your own intuition when it comes to how this is going to play out in the end. And I feel that you're looking at this from a positive perspective. Now, when it comes to the potential outcome for the other person, let's take a look. What is the potential outcome for the person that Sagittarius is dealing with? Okay, well, we've got the Lovers card. What is the potential outcome for the person that Sagittarius is dealing with? The 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Let's take a look. And we'll get one more. Okay. And the Hermit. Okay. You know, when it comes to making decisions, I feel it is about decision making here. And the Hermit card, it tells me that well, it speaks to me of taking time out, free from distraction, to think things through, for a lot of quiet contemplation. Now, what I get with the Hermit is that this quiet contemplation will bring about much needed clarity, and the clarity brings not only wisdom but action as well. But it's action by achieving that clarity and gaining wisdom. And with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse here, it seems to be about some instability of some kind, perhaps when it comes to decision making. So it seems like this person is spending some time contemplating a process, processing a decision, and the 10 of Pentacles in reverse there tells me that this is some kind of, it has potential for a loss here if a decision or a poor decision is made, is what I'm getting with that card. So we'll see where this goes. I like the energy for you, Sagittarius. It's about getting getting the love back into your life, where I do feel like it has been missing. There seems to be some kind of inequality in the past, and you may have considered walking away from this, but there's a time of reassessment. I feel like you're wanting to continue the upward movement here for things getting better. There's some niggling doubts here about whether or not you can achieve this, but if you think like the King of Wands, I think that's your main thing. And also listen to your gut feeling when it comes to what's going to pay off for you in the long run. So we'll see where this goes in part 2. I hope that you join me there. The link is below in the descriptions box, and that will be on my Vimeo channel. If I don't see you there, then I wish you all the best with this Sagittarius, and I will speak to you again very soon in mid-January. Bye for now.